Gentlemen, let me ask you a brutally honest question. Have you ever wondered why some men seem to stay strong, confident, and full of vitality well into their 60s and 70s, while others lose their edge decades earlier? The truth is, most men don't realize they're quietly sabotaging their erections every single day, not because of age, not because of bad luck, but because of common habits that slowly destroy sexual performance. And I'll tell you this, it's not the big obvious things you might think. Pills, pumps, and quick fixes often fail because the real killers are hidden in plain sight. Today I'm going to reveal the 10 everyday things that weaken your erections, some of which you probably did this morning without thinking twice. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what they are, but you'll also know how to reverse the damage and rebuild the kind of sexual health you thought you left behind in your 30s. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Dr. Mei Anderson. I'm a men's health specialist and urologist with over 25 years of experience. I've helped more than 10,000 men reclaim their confidence in the bedroom. I've published research, and I've spoken at international medical conferences. And here's what shocked me. Nearly 90% of the erectile problems I see in my patients are not caused by age or permanent conditions. They're caused by 10 avoidable mistakes, habits most men repeat day after day without realizing they are training their bodies for failure. And once you correct these mistakes, something amazing happens. Your body begins to respond like it did decades ago. One of my patients, let's call him Daniel, was 64 when he came to see me. He had tried everything, pills, supplements, even devices, but nothing gave him consistent results. His confidence was gone, and he felt like his best years were behind him. But when we addressed just a few of the habits I'm about to share with you, he began noticing morning erections again within weeks. His energy came back, his relationship improved, and he told me, "Doctor, I feel like I got 10 years of my life back." That is the power of knowing what to stop doing. So let's begin with the first silent destroyer of erections, something most men are guilty of without even realizing it. I'm talking about sitting too much. Our modern lifestyle has trained us to spend hours in chairs, in cars, at desks. But what most men don't realize is that blood flow is everything when it comes to sexual performance. Erections are literally a hydraulic system powered by circulation. And when you sit for hours every day, you compress the arteries that supply your pelvis, you reduce blood flow to the very tissues that need it most, and you gradually weaken the responsiveness of your vascular system. It's like pinching a garden hose for years. The water eventually struggles to flow. The fix is surprisingly simple. Every hour, stand up and move for just 5 minutes. Even a short walk primes your circulation and keeps your blood vessels elastic. Men who make this small change often notice a difference in their energy, their stamina, and yes, their performance. Now let's move on to another silent killer. Poor sleep. Most men underestimate the power of sleep for sexual health. Testosterone, your primary male hormone, is produced in deep stages of sleep. When you cut your sleep short, whether by staying up late, scrolling on your phone, or waking multiple times during the night, you rob your body of its natural hormone surge. Research shows that just 1 week of sleeping less than 6 hours a night can drop testosterone levels by up to 15%. That's like fast-forwarding years of aging in just 7 days. And without testosterone, not only does desire fade, but the physical mechanisms of erection become weaker. The solution is to prioritize sleep like medicine. Keep a consistent bedtime, avoid screens 1 hour before bed, and give your body the 7 to 8 hours it needs to restore your hormonal balance. And let me say this because it's important. If you're listening to this and realizing you've already fallen into these mistakes, you should feel a little concerned. Because ignoring this information doesn't just mean weaker erections, it means accelerating aging, higher risk of cardiovascular disease, and losing confidence year by year. The reason I share these truths here on Vital Health Seniors is so men like you don't make the same mistakes I've seen thousands of others regret. So if you're not subscribed yet, ask yourself honestly, why not? If your health, your confidence, and even your relationship matter, subscribe right now so you don't miss the fixes that could literally change your future. And if you still choose not to, tell me in the comments why you'd risk ignoring the very information that could save your performance. I truly want to understand. Another common mistake I see in my clinic is smoking. Cigarettes and even occasional cigars are devastating for blood vessels. Nicotine constricts your arteries, making them less flexible, And the toxins in smoke damage the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, the very cells responsible for releasing nitric oxide, the chemical trigger that creates and maintains erections. I've seen men as young as 30 struggle with performance simply because of smoking. And the good news is that within weeks of quitting, blood vessel function begins to improve. The difference is often noticeable not just in cardiovascular health, but in the bedroom as well. But smoking isn't the only lifestyle toxin. Excessive alcohol is another erection killer. Now, I'm not talking about a single glass of wine here and there. I'm talking about the pattern of heavy or regular drinking that many men fall into without realizing the cost. Alcohol is a depressant. It dulls the nervous system, it reduces testosterone, and it dehydrates you. I've had patients who believed alcohol made them perform better because it reduced anxiety, but the irony is that physiologically, alcohol reduces blood flow and numbs sensitivity. If you've ever had what's commonly called whiskey D, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The solution is moderation. Limit yourself to 2 drinks per day at most, and notice how much sharper and more responsive your body becomes. Now let's talk about sugar, one of the most dangerous modern enemies of erections. Excess sugar spikes insulin, damages blood vessels, and promotes inflammation. Over time, high sugar intake leads to metabolic syndrome and diabetes, both of which dramatically increase the risk of erectile dysfunction. But even in men without diabetes, sugar thickens the blood and makes circulation sluggish. Think of trying to inflate a balloon with syrup instead of air. That's what's happening in your arteries when your blood sugar runs high. Cutting back on processed foods and sugary drinks not only improves erections but also energy, mood, and long-term health. Here's one that many men are shocked to hear. Overstimulation from pornography. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not here to judge, but as a urologist I've seen the neurological impact firsthand. Pornography trains the brain to expect constant novelty and instant gratification. Over time, dopamine receptors become desensitized, meaning real-life intimacy doesn't trigger the same excitement. This is why some men find themselves struggling to perform with a partner, even though they have no problem when alone. The fix isn't complicated, but it does take discipline. Limit or eliminate porn use and give your brain time to reset. Within weeks, sensitivity and arousal often return naturally. Another hidden factor is dehydration. Gentlemen, I cannot stress this enough. Blood is mostly water. Even mild dehydration thickens your blood by 15 to 20%, making it harder for circulation to reach the small vessels in your penis. Dehydration also triggers cortisol, your stress hormone, which suppresses testosterone. Most men I see are walking around chronically dehydrated without realizing it. And here's the kicker. Coffee first thing in the morning makes it worse because it's a diuretic. Your body goes 8 hours without fluids overnight, then you hit it with coffee before water. That is like running an engine dry before pouring in oil. Always start your morning with water before caffeine, if you want your erections to respond when you need them most. But hydration isn't just about how much you drink, it's about when you drink. This was one of the biggest discoveries in my practice, and it shocked even me. Most men drink large amounts of water sporadically, big glasses with meals, then nothing for hours, then more in the evening. This creates what I call the blood viscosity roller coaster. Your blood is thick and sluggish, then suddenly overloaded, then thick again. Over years, this trains your blood vessels to become less elastic, less responsive. The fix is to sip small amounts regularly throughout the day, and avoid heavy fluid intake right before bed. This keeps your circulation steady, and your erections reliable. Another erection killer is stress. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, and cortisol directly suppresses testosterone. I've had patients with no vascular issues at all, yet their performance suffered simply because they lived under constant pressure: work, finances, relationships. Stress tightens muscles, narrows arteries, and keeps your body in fight or flight mode, the exact opposite of the relaxed state required for intimacy. This is why stress management isn't optional if you want to perform well. Breathing exercises, meditation, or even a short walk outdoors can shift your body into a parasympathetic state, priming you for better blood flow and stronger erections. And this is where I need to stop you for a moment, because if you've heard everything up to this point and you're still not subscribed, I have to ask, are you comfortable with slowly losing performance year after year? Because that's exactly what will happen if you keep repeating these mistakes and ignore the solutions I'm sharing. The men who subscribe to Vital Health Seniors are the ones who get ahead of the problem. They stay informed, they protect their health, and they act before it's too late. If you're choosing not to, at least comment and tell me why. Because I can't understand why any man would knowingly risk his confidence and relationships when the fix is right in front of him. And finally, one of the most damaging mistakes of all is neglecting sleep timing and hydration balance before bed. Men who load up on water in the evening wake multiple times at night, disrupting deep sleep cycles. And remember, deep sleep is where testosterone is produced. Combine this with late-night screen use, and you create the perfect storm of low testosterone, poor recovery, and weaker erections. The solution? Stop fluids 2 hours before bed, keep a consistent bedtime, and protect your sleep like your health depends on it, because it does. Now, as you've heard these 10 erection killers, I want you to notice something important. None of them require a prescription to fix. These are everyday habits within your control. And when you stop doing them, your body begins to restore itself. In fact, many of my patients notice a difference within just 1 to 2 weeks. Stronger morning erections, better energy, and more confidence. And your partner will likely notice before you do. Gentlemen, your performance is not defined by age. It's defined by the habits you repeat daily. If you've been guilty of even one of these mistakes, don't feel discouraged, feel empowered because now you know the truth. Starting today, you can correct them. And when you do, you'll rediscover the vitality and confidence you thought you left behind. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button so more men can find this information before it's too late. And let me know in the comments which of these 10 mistakes surprised you the most. I read every single one. If you want the complete daily protocol I give my private patients, including hydration timing, advanced circulation strategies, and exact mineral ratios, check the link in the description for my comprehensive guide, available only to Vital Health Seniors viewers. And don't forget to subscribe because in my next video, I'll reveal the one food silently lowering men's testosterone by up to 30%. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Gentlemen, remember this, your best years aren't behind you. They're ahead of you. You just need the right information and the commitment to act on it.